I'm so excited for my guest today. I am so excited. And my hair is very, very wet. And it's raining. So we're just rolling with it. Hi. My guest today is a wonderfully talented, awesome, badass woman, artist, songwriter. And I'm excited for those of you who don't know who she is to meet her. And I'm excited and to hear about her story, because I think that is when you will be like, badass, badass. So let me get her up in here, just because she's just all the things. Okay. Da da da. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Liking this weather? And I don't know where you're at. Ooh, where are you guys at? Okay, here we go. Ah da da. We are just working through. I am in California till the new year. So, oh, here we go. Let me. Alabama, how's the weather in Alabama? Ah, come on in. Here she comes. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. I'm sitting outside.
Yeah, that looks so nice.
And it's like sprinkling.
Oh, no way. Where are
It's
you?
like my heaven. I'm in the Bay.
Oh, okay.
I'm in NorCal till the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So,
That looks so
I'm
nice.
hanging tight to be close to my family and just lay low. I'm like, why go back?
Yeah,
The music business shuts down in December.
exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm just looking at that tree. It just looks so nice.
It's like, it's my sister's backyard. It is just so peaceful. I always say, like, I came to like the spa. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm at the spa.
Yeah,
I'm just
you're like glowing.
having meditative time. I'm like, this is what I needed. This is what I needed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not missing Nashville right now when I get this. Now,
I'm missing Nashville.
Like,
I'm missing Nashville so much.
yeah, I mean, I miss creating, and I miss my people, and I miss that, and I'm excited to go back and like have that. But
well,
I
it's
feel
good
like
to take a break from that. Yeah, it's that break from creating all the time is like the most necessary thing. I always say like taking a break is more important than the actual work.
Yeah.
Like to recharge, you know.
To recharge, and then to know who I want to create with and who I'm craving creating with is, I'm like, oh, okay, these are the people. Like, I'm excited to go back and get back into the studio with John Tucker. I'm like,
I love John so much.
I know. I just like, I need to get back. I texted him. He's like, come back. I'm like, I know. January, let's book some dates. And like, I feel that energy. But then there's some people I was like, I'm good. We don't need to write right now.
Yeah.
My energy. Some people drain me, I guess.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
And if the pandemic.
Sorry, what?
Oh, I was just saying, if the pandemic's taught me anything, it's that I don't need to be more drained.
Exactly. And who your real people are, too. I was supposed to come to Nashville in December, but maybe I'll wait till January now, if you're going to be there in January.
I'll be there in January.
Maybe I should just wait. And then me, you, and John can do a session.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that energy will be.
That'd be so fun.
It'll be so much fun. I love you and the energy that you bring to the table. And I remember the first time I heard your music, it was because of Stan Green. And then I sent it to John right away. And I was like, you need to hear this, girl. Like, you need to hear this vibe. And I knew nothing about you.
What song was it? Do you remember? What song was it?
What song was it? It was, I don't even know. It was before Henny and Skittles.
Was it Fast Song?
Fast.
Was it Blue?
Yes, Blue. Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
That was it. And I should know because I play it all the time, and my niece knows it. Probably shouldn't play everything for my niece, but I play everything for my niece. She doesn't know the words. She's 10 months old.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's
I
so
need
cool.
to know more about you. I need to understand where this energy comes from and this light. And so, and then I found out you used to live in Nashville. So that made me happy. So I just wanted to first start for people that don't know anything about you. How did you start out in music? What was, did you always want to be a writer and an artist, or?
Yeah, there's pretty much never been, sorry, my voice, never been any other option really. Like I always said, there's not a plan B. People are like, what's your fallback plan in case it doesn't work? I'm like, I don't have a
Yeah.
fallback plan that sets me up for failure, you know?
Uh-huh.
But I started in piano, like classically trained in piano, and I started that when I was 18 months old. So it's literally been like my entire life.
Wow.
So like when people say, how long have you been doing music? I'm like, my whole life. They're like, no, but really? I'm like, literally my whole life. Literally. And it's just, I don't know. So I did classically trained piano till I was 16.
Okay.
And when I was around like 13 or 14, I was on the bus home from school and I had like no friends in school. So I would just like keep to myself. And I heard Love Song. Yay. And I heard Love Song by Sarah Bareilles over the speaker on the bus, barely heard it. And I was like, this is amazing. I need to do this. So I went home and I Googled like new piano pop songs. I couldn't hear the lyrics. I didn't know who she was. And I finally found the song and then I heard it and learned it that day. And ever since then, I just played piano and sang. Yeah. And then I started like learning how to write. And I don't know. It was like, that was when it was like, it became like a singing and writing type thing and not just like music. It was like, oh, I want to be an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much it.
I love that because I started with classical piano as well.
Oh, you did?
Me and my sister did.
Oh, wow.
And she went on to do more classical piano. Now she doesn't do music at all. And then I went into classical opera, like classical voice training. And I was like, oh, I'm going to just be an opera singer. And then
you can sing opera?
I can sing opera.
That's so cool because your voice is so like
one of my degrees
angelic. I wouldn't expect. That's cool.
Yes. Yeah, I can sing really high. I have a really low voice, and now most of the time I sing low. But yeah, I did opera till I was 18. I still sang other stuff and wrote other stuff on the side, but I was like, I'm going to be an opera singer. And then I realized I didn't have the passion for opera that I do for just music in general. So
you're like, I'm good at it, but I'm not in love with it. Yeah.
If you're not in love with it, you won't risk for it.
Exactly.
This is about risking. Like, I'll do this if I had nothing else. This is what I love to do. And this is how I get my energy. It's not about the financial. Yes, it's great to make some money because it helps us all out. But I would do it anyways. So what I want to get into is health with you, because I think in the pandemic, we all have been struggling with being isolated. I think we've been struggling with like mental health and also physical health. And you go to dialysis 4 times a week?
3 to 4.
3 to 4? And so has that changed in the pandemic? Like, have you had to be more isolated while this is all going on? Or has this already been how you've had to live? So it's just now everybody else is living that way.
Yeah. It's not really that I always had to live this way. I just always did and chose to because I kind of enjoy my own company more than most people's company. That sounds weird, but I just do. Like, I just like being by myself. But the transition from it being my choice to it being forced was a little hard, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if I wanted to leave before, I could. The rare occasion that I wanted to like go do something, I could. Yeah. Especially travel, because I need to travel. Like, it's like my favorite thing in the world. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm like I feel like my opinion on this subject is like, I'm very introverted, you know? So it's been, I think, easier than most people think that it is for me. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like nice to not be not be alone in my isolation. Like knowing that I'm not like just sitting at home missing out on everything. I'm like, oh, like people actually have to do this with me, and it kind of helps to like be able to relate with people about it. You know what I mean? Because before no one could relate, and they'd be like, oh, you're so lucky that you stay home all day and like that you can just chill. And I'm like, I'm not lucky. Like I would like to not want to do this, but you know, and now they kind of understand like, oh, it's not.
So do you think people have been more like empathetic in general towards the way you're choosing to live your life in this?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think in that process too, you like find who, like I said before, you find who your real people are and who's actually there for you and who actually cares. Because when you are in isolation and when you are going through something difficult, which the whole world is right now, you really pay attention to the things that matter.
Yes.
And so I think that empathy in general just helps everyone find where they should be in life. I saw a post the other day that was like, if it weren't for this pandemic, you wouldn't be where you are right now. You wouldn't be the person you are today. And I'm like, that's so true. I think we've all changed so much this year.
Yes.
And like grown. It hasn't been like a bad change. Some people have like obviously gotten depressed, but I think you find yourself in that depression because you have to find your way out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when you're forced to be alone with yourself, you learn about yourself. And I think we are a culture that tries to avoid being alone with ourselves and tries to avoid feeling. And so if anything, I think that our humanness, like collectively, has grown. And
you have to face your demons and fix them. Like you have to, or else you're gonna go crazy.
Yes. Like I also love being alone. I'm a homebody. I can hang out by myself all the time. As long as I have like my instruments, I'm good. Talk to a few people. And in this, people have said to me, like, do you miss Nashville? Do you miss being out and about? I'm like, I miss singing. I miss performing. I miss that. But I'm like, I'm good. Like I can sit at home and I like myself. And it's made me have to, when I get uncomfortable, it's made me have to dig deeper and be like, why am I uncomfortable in this situation? Or why do I need this? And I've had to learn different things. Like I have to do more of my producing myself. And, and
that's a good
like,
thing. Like you have so many more skills now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I like record myself now and I'm like, what? I never thought I would do this.
No, I'm like, I used to like rely on so many other people for my creativity. And now I can just create and put things out and do the things I want to do. And I wouldn't have done that without a pandemic. I wouldn't have done this show without a pandemic.
Yeah.
Like all the things that have come from that, I needed this pandemic. I mean, there's a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
But if we think about the negatives, we can always find something. It's better to be grateful.
Yeah.
And I hope this teaches us gratitude.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think it teaches us to not take things for granted, which is the same as gratitude. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, everyone was like, people would always ask me, like, how I stay, like, happy and positive and, like, genuine. They're like, you're always, like, you're literally this, like, the same all the time. Like, they just ask me, like, how do I do it when I have every reason to be pissed? You know? I'm like, you're right. I do get pissed sometimes, but just like what you said, that's how you do it. You can't focus on the negative things. Yeah. And I think people are just, I think that's where people are relating more. Because I don't think anyone will relate to dialysis unless they're on dialysis, but they're relating to the way that I feel, which is the definition of empathy. Like they can literally feel how I feel. And I think it's a good thing. And I tell people, if I didn't have cancer, if I wasn't on dialysis, I wouldn't be who I am. I don't think I'd probably be like, I don't even know where I'd be. Like, I feel like it's made me humble. It's made me like have gratitude. It's made me just like happier because I don't sweat the small things. And I think no one has time to sweat the small things right now. So,
well, yeah, it's making, like, even with cancer, like my dad has cancer and I don't have cancer, but it's made me be like, okay, like what matters? Like, what matters
Mhm.
in this relationship? Like, I can put a lot of stuff on the table. Like, I can throw a lot of stuff away because I'm like, what matters is just time and being present. And I could complain about anything, but I'm like, I'm healthy.
Mhm.
And so why not just be thankful for that? Like,
Mhm.
that is a blessing. That is a blessing because my dad's not. And I
Yeah.
look but I showed him some of your stuff and he was like, oh, she has so much energy. I was like, yeah, she does. I know,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't. It's
Because he
that
starts
energy. I
chemo
don't know
today.
where it comes
So
from.
I'm like, just listen to her music while you're getting your chemo and it'll be fine. And it'll be fine.
Oh.
Okay. So made him a little playlist and stuff
Oh my gosh,
of
that's
music.
funny.
He's probably back, what is this? This is not old school jams.
Oh.
Oh, talking about music, how has it been releasing music before the pandemic and releasing content and everything when you do have to take care of yourself and your health? So how has it been like before and how has it shifted during the pandemic? Like, has there been a shift in how you release music and content?
It's honestly gotten in full picture, it's gotten better.
Okay.
Like, because I've had to be forced to learn more things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it was like, what do I do? Like, it was so scary. I was like, I'm not going to put out music until this is over. But then I'm like, why am I waiting? It's like for other people, like, I'm going to just do this. And
Mm-hmm.
I think 2 songs since the pandemic, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of those 3 have been my highest streams so far that I've ever
Yeah.
had. And that's because like I did my research, I had time. No one, it was my own deadlines, like, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
just I don't know. And I think that also people are probably like listening to music more
Yes.
and they don't have anything to do, so they want to find new artists and new people. So I think it's the opportunity to put out music.
It's the
And
best time to put out music.
it's sad because I see a lot. I was just talking to my friend yesterday about how there are a lot of people who are that were so like active in the music industry before who have pulled back and they're like, I'm gonna wait. Nothing's happening. Like, I'm gonna just take a year off. I'm like, no, like this is a time to like
Push.
work and get ahead of everyone else. You know what I mean? I'm like, go ahead. Like, if you like, don't fall back. But I mean, but if you want to, sure. I'm not going to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna. I don't know. I think that it's again a blessing in disguise. Like, this whole thing is a blessing in disguise, and that obviously it's terrible. It's a
Yeah.
very bad thing that's happening and it's really sad. But there's a lot of hidden blessings. You just have to go for them.
Yeah. You have to find them. And I think kind of how you said, releasing music during this time and learning about the marketing, learning about what factors you need to do, learning algorithms, kind of seeing what hits and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when are we going to have this time when everybody's calm? Even
Mm-hmm.
as we're slowly opening back up and things, like, it's a calm time. Like, I used to find myself having to be at shows every night and doing things. So I didn't have the time to learn. I was like, oh, I'm just
Right.
going to have this person do this and this person do
Mm-hmm.
this, and I'm going to focus in this lane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I go back, I have that knowledge where also I can negotiate differently. Like, I can do it myself if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm taking from this season. And also, there's music I wouldn't have ever thought to release. Like, I released a live EP and I was like, why not? Like, people are listening to music, kind of like you
Mm-hmm.
said, like, just put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
What's it gonna hurt?
Exactly.
Because I focused on writing, and so during the pandemic, I've been putting more of my own stuff out, and it's been freeing to know that you can do both.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think before it was like, with what we do, there's writing for us, there's writing for other people, there's recording other people's demos, there's networking, there's parties, there's shows,
Yes.
there's so many things. And so it's really hard to improve in each area because you're kind of staying stagnant in every area because there's just too much. So like you said, like we have one thing to focus on, and it's really ourselves and our craft, and that's it. And so there's so much room to grow that, like, the growth that we probably have had in this year is probably times 10 of what we usually grow every year. You know what I mean? Or more.
Yes.
Because we're
Yes.
just doing nothing else, and we're alone with ourselves, and we're confused and have a lot of negative emotions as well, which I think helps make music. I
That's
think
where
negative
you get the
emotions
music
make
from.
the best music. Exactly. Like, I don't write happy songs. Are you kidding me? Like, what is a happy
Very rarely.
song? They all
Whenever
come
I
from
get
a
in a
dark
write, they're like,
place.
let's write something happy. I'm like, well, you're going to lead the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm always like, I don't write happy songs. I don't write beer songs because I don't drink beer. I'm like, if you want to write about tequila, something
Right?
else,
Right.
I'm like, I got you. I
Yep.
don't drink beer, so I can't. Obviously, I write country music, and I'm like, I don't write beer songs, so it
Yeah.
narrows down my scope.
Yeah. Which is
why I
good
went
thing.
back into pop.
I love country music so much. So much.
Ah, I love
Nobody
it.
would ever know that, but I love
Yeah.
country music.
Yeah, I grew up on country music, and I still get people that are like, "You write country?" I'm like, "I write other things too," but I'm like, my love is country. That's what I grew up on.
Well,
My
country's
family's from
so,
Arkansas. I'm like, and it's a story. I
yeah,
like
it's so
stories.
lyrical. It's so lyrical. I think that's where I get my ability to write lyrics in a different, like, I think it's probably my strength is lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's from country music because they tell stories and they like, and that's, so I'm like grateful. Like, I write a lot of like completely opposite of country now, but it's all influenced by that.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I always say if you want to become a great writer, like listen to country and listen to old country and listen to how simple it is, and you just understand. So everything I do is based off of country lyrics, even the other stuff that I write, which is very not country at all. But
exactly. I always say
I love it.
I got that twang. Even if I'm doing a rap song, there's still that twang in there.
Yes, there is.
Can't get rid of it. I don't even know I have it, but people are like, what is this? I'm like, oh yeah, that's that twang.
I know. I wish I had some more twang. They'd probably love me more. I'm like,
I think you have it. I think if you, no one knows they have the twang until someone tells them they do.
Until you get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I have been in Nashville for a while. My family is Southern, so I'm a California girl, but all my roots are in the South.
You can take the girl out of country, but can't take the country out of the girl.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh. So what do you have coming up? What song, or do you have another release coming out? Like, what is your plan for this, like, to finish out this year, this 2020 year?
This crazy year. I have one song coming out on my birthday next week, on Thanksgiving.
Woo, your birthday's on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, this year.
Yay. It's my goddaughter's birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The 26th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a song coming out that day, and it's the one that you've heard. It's Skills.
Yeah.
The one from the head count thing.
Yes.
So I'm putting that one out. And then after that, I haven't said this to anybody at all, like literally nobody. So I'll say it here. Someone is asked me if I wanted to do a documentary on my story of just health and music, just my life.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I'm recording that tomorrow, and then it's gonna come out.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm excited. Like, it was crazy. And then because of that, I'm gonna drop an EP at the beginning of the year. That's going to be like my songs written from the dialysis chair album. So that's the plan for now. Yeah, and then we'll see how that goes. But
I'm so inspired by you, because I think that a lot of people let their situation dictate their success, or their situation dictate their story. And I feel like you've turned it around. Like, you show that it hasn't held you back. I mean, I'm sure there are moments that it holds you back, and there are things that you can't do to the fullest that you would want to, but I'm like, I need to be more like King, because I like, just like, I'm like, I have nothing to complain about. Like, really? Like, and we all have the power to shift our own energy. I always say energy matches energy. So if you're in a slump, you're going to find people that are in your slump with you, and you guys are going to complain, and you guys are going to be drama. But if you raise your energy, the next level of people come into your orbit. And
that's so true.
Very about energy and realizing how easy it is to shift your energy and shift your own thoughts, because you choose them. You choose your circumstance.
You really do.
The way you feel your circumstance. You don't choose necessarily what's happened in your life, but you can choose how you carry through those things.
Yeah. And sometimes, that's exactly what I was going to say. You pretty much took the words out of my mouth, where people are like, you're so strong, how do you do it? And I'm like, because I don't have a choice. And sometimes it takes not having a choice to finally realize what, I can't explain it, but basically what you said. But that's why I even named myself King Elle Noir, because literally when I started dialysis, I had a choice of whether I wanted to, drown myself or crown myself. Like, that was the only two choices I had. I could either die, literally, and or not die, you know? And I'm like, I'm going to choose to not die. And that was the only choice that I had to make in that moment. I think every day we have so many choices to make, and it kind of jumbles. We're like, do I go this way, this, or this? And the more choices you have, the harder it is to make a choice. So it takes not having any options to finally make the choice that you have to make, you know? Yeah. And I think that's, again, what this pandemic is doing for everyone. We don't have the choice on where we want to go on a Friday night. Yeah. So our options become a lot smaller. And then when they're smaller, you're going to choose the better one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's not as much fog. I remember it was a long time ago. Today's the anniversary of my ex's passing. And I remember when that happened, I froze, and I was like, I could sit here and wallow and cry, but it's not going to change anything. I could give up all my dreams. It's not going to change anything. And it took a few months, but I turned it all around. And I'm so, kind of like this pandemic, I'm not thankful that he passed away, but I'm thankful it happened when I was young, where I had to learn that I got to choose the way I was going to live my life, because we only have one life. And we aren't in control of how long that life is going to be. We're not in control of how other people feel about us, but we are in control of ourselves. And I always say, if I like myself, that's fine. And nobody else needs to like me. I'm good. That's a bonus. Like, I didn't have friends in school.
Because we both had no friends in high school. Exactly. We learned how to like ourselves because no one liked us in high school.
I always go, I had an afro. My mom's white. She didn't know what to do. I'm like, I didn't fit in. She used to brush my curls out, so it strengthened me. It strengthened me to this day. Now I can take as much advice as the internet wants to give.
Yes.
Luckily, I don't get a ton, but there's some, because I'm outspoken.
There always is.
Oh, I am so thankful that you decided to share some space with me this morning, and I am excited for your documentary. I am excited for people to hear your story and dive more into your music and see where this next year takes you, because 2020 gave us some clear eyes and some focus, and now 2021, we don't know, but we're going into it, I think, more equipped.
I just got chills when you said that. I just literally got chills all over my body. Next year, I think, is going to be really good for a lot of people.
Yes. And I'm excited to create with you next year.
Me too.
I'll be in LA and in Nashville, so we'll get together. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I will definitely, I'm going to put some links to your music down below so that people can just check you out, because I think a lot of people that follow me might not know you. And I think you're a badass. Like I said before you jumped on. I just think you're a badass, and I like being around badass women. So
I think you are too. It's dope. I'm glad that we, like you said, energy brought us together.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I'm always like, yay for Instagram. So
right? I know.
Have a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time. I know that it's early, so
fine. I'm up early anyway. It's fine.
Me too. I'm always like, I like being up early.
Start your morning right. Yep.
Yes. Well, I'll let you go, and I will save this to my page if anybody came on late.